So with that, the first item on our agenda is a continued hearing for 35 Mountain Road. This is the Windview Heights 2 project. This application was continued from our January, I'm not sure the date, from a January meeting. And we were waiting for some more information, which we're still waiting on some of that information. So just, I want to give an update before we get started. The applicant's going to be looking to give a presentation on the architecture of the building and the site layout today. We still don't have the stormwater calculations. So once we get those, the town departments and the peer review are going to need some time to still review those. So we'll be discussing that. As far as the peer review goes, the town received a proposal from Hancock Associates to do the peer review. The applicant has agreed to that proposal. So tonight, if it's at the beginning or at the end of this this portion of the hearing, I'd like the board to vote to approve that to move forward, so we can get the ball rolling on that. There were questions of easements for this property. There's a couple of easements, one over the Windview Heights 1 parcel and one at the end of Richardson Road. There's been some communication on that, but I still think that there's some questions to be outstanding. I think town council can weigh in on that better than I would be able to. And with all that being said, the information that we still need, I would like to at some point discuss the extension of the 180-day period. I know we're not, coming up on that yet, but it without having all the information, I think we should start discussing it now. So that being said, I'll actually, Lisa, do you want to comment now, or do you want the applicant to give their presentation first?
I think we can let Attorney Murphy go forward, and then he can address the opinions that are still forthcoming at this point.
Okay, thank you. All right. I'm assuming the applicant is online.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Thomas Murphy here. I believe my client is also online, as is his architect and surveyor. I would agree with the chair's update and assessment of the situation thus far. We did agree to the Hancock Associates proposal and deposited their fee with the town. We do not have the civil balance, which I had hoped we'd have by now. I'm told that they're coming within the next few days, but I've said that before, so I don't want to commit to anything until I get a better idea. My client has had a death in the family, so he's had a little trouble following up on some of the stuff the last couple of days, and I just haven't been pushing him on it. With respect to the extensions, if necessary, I've had this discussion with town council, and I'll reaffirm it tonight, that in the event that it is necessary to extend the 180-day deadline due to delays, we certainly would agree to do that and go on record as saying that. I would hope that everything will be wrapped up one way or the other within the 180 days, but if the board or the town winds up needing more time to review things, we'll certainly accommodate them on that. We did receive we did receive a legal opinion that I forwarded, I believe it was yesterday, and I think I uploaded it to the town's portal this morning with respect to the easement.
Excuse me. Can everyone who's not speaking please mute their microphones? We're getting a lot of feedback.
Thank you.
I think it's me. I think I made too much noise. Mute. Mute. Okay. Muting. Mute. Oh my God.
Are we good? All right.
Is this the
Sure.
note with Windview?
One of the legal letters was filed, as I was saying, and uploaded to the town's portal. That addresses the easement across the Windview 1 property. We also received a request to get an opinion with respect to the easement across the end of Richardson Road. That is coming from a different attorney who has some experience with the title to the land up there. That has not been received yet, but I expect that any day now. That was requested last week. So those items have been partially addressed, and the second opinion hopefully will be coming in, and we will obviously forward it when we receive it. I think that was the gist of the matters that were requested from last time. And as you mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, Mr. Chair, we do have our Chris Mello from Eastern Land Survey, who's the surveyor on this project, and Alan Popkin of AHP Architects, who's the architect, to give a presentation with some more particulars and more details with their respective areas of this project. And when the board is ready, or when the chair is ready for that, I'll be happy to turn it over to first Chris Mello and then Mr. Popkin.
Okay, thank you. Lisa, would you like to comment on the easements and the opinion?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Lisa Mead, Town Council. So there is a letter dated 4/15 from Attorney Mike McCarthy related to the rights of the applicant to file an amendment to the Windview 1, and basically repeats the easement language in the easement and confirmatory easement that has been provided to the board. So that's been provided. I'm not making any qualitative judgments on it at this point, pending the remainder of the opinions that are coming forward. And so that the board will have that, and they should look at that. And then at some point, the board's going to decide whether or not there's actually access to this property in order to continue. And, you know, the board can decide what it wants to decide. And if either the applicant or the abutters disagree with that, then there are other routes that those parties can take depending on what the board decides. So once all the information is presented to the board, then we can have a discussion when the board is has all the facts in front of it.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's do the presentation, and then we'll go to comments from the board and the butters. I have, I believe, the plans that you need, so I think I can share my screen if you give me a second, and then you guys can tell me. Okay. So, which plans do we need to look at first?
With the chair's permission, I'm going to turn this over to Chris Mello, and he can work with you directly on that, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Chris Mello from Eastern Land Survey, and I prepared the plans that are now showing on your screen. And briefly, what we have is a multi-family building, a 24-unit, multi-story, situated in the middle of the property. And that is serviced by utilities that were constructed and brought into Windview Heights and will be extended from the project to this facility. The sewer is a single line, 8-inch sewer that will be brought into the building from a manhole that was left in front of the units in Windview. The water line will be extended to this facility to service the building and potable water and fire suppression. And the stormwater would be serviced by a single open stormwater management facility, a detention pond in which the surface water and the roof water will be collected through pipes and catch basins, manholes, and treatment manholes to this facility, and then will be brought out through a drain line to Mountain Ave. The facility itself, a single building serviced by parking in the lower level and outdoor parking in a lot that would be created by building a large pad and grading by cutting and filling into the hill. That's a very short synopsis, and that's pretty much what I've got to tell you based on the plans before you and the project that we have submitted. I'd be happy to answer any questions on any of those items or anything else that the board may have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's go around the board. Does anyone have any questions for the engineer while we have this plan up? We'll start. I'm not sure if Jim has been able to get online yet, so I'll start with Charles.
I'm sure. I just have one quick clarification question on the utilities. Where exactly are they? Are they on the coming in from Richardson Road on that side?
Yes, the sewer line comes in from a manhole that's in front of, back to that unit. I'm looking at that. I believe it's 30. Let me just take a quick look at my plan.
Sure.
It's, yes, Unit 30 in the previously constructed project has a sewer manhole that was left for the projection of this line. The sanitary line will come from there to the
Yep.
building and service all the units. Similarly, the water line was brought in and will be extended to the building to service this also.
Okay, and that's all in the same area on Unit 30?
Generally, the water line's on the other side of that driveway, but in that vicinity.
Okay. All right, thank you. That's all I have for right now.
Thank you.
All right, Mark, any questions? Did we lose Mark?
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, I have no questions.
Okay. John, any questions?
Just a quick one about the parking. Am I reading this right? Is it 24 spaces underneath the building and then another 35 or 34 spaces outside?
I believe there are, I'm not sure, I'll leave the architect to the one inside. I believe there are 26 in the building, and let me just check my plan. I believe there are 32 on the outside. I've got 24, and I'm sorry, 34 on the exterior to the left of the building, to the west.
Yeah, okay. So I want to just make clear of that. Seems like a lot. But... All right, thank you.
Okay, Joe, any questions?
No, I don't have any questions at this time.
All right, Adam?
No questions at this time.
All right, I'm going to circle back around. Have you been able to get online yet?
I did, yes, and I have no questions.
Okay. I don't really have any questions right now on the site plan. I think we have a lot more detail to go over for that, so I'm sure I'll have some questions at a later time. All right, and so I think that's it for the site plan for now. I have the plan we can come back to if we need to. I'll pull up the, just give me a second. These are the architecturals that I have, so if you need me to switch to anything, let me know.
With the chair's permission, Mr. Chair, I'll hand this off to Alan Popkin, who's the project architect.
Yep, sure, thank you.
Good evening, everybody. This is Alan Popkin with AHP Architects. And I'm going to run through some information regarding this project. We can leave the rendering up on this screen as we talk about components of it, and we can flip to the floor plans as we go through and as people have some questions for it. So to begin with, the building is approximately 13 1,800 square feet for footprint of the building. We have parking on the lowest level, which is cut into the slope on the back side of it. In that garage, there are 26 spaces, one for each unit, and then some handicap spots. And that level will also house some of the mechanical systems and trash components. The construction of that portion of the building will be steel and concrete framing, while on top of that podium will be wood frame construction. So you can see the lower level plan on the right-hand side there. You can see the two overhead garage doors, which take you into that parking level. You can see parking spaces on both sides with some storage components at the edges of those parking spaces, with those mechanical spaces in the far left of the parking garage. And then on the top right corner of this plan, you can see the entrance into the lobby and a fitness center from this level. So then if we want to flip to the next plan, please. So floors 2, 3, and 4 are all similar. We changed to a wood frame construction system. Each floor has 8 units. The interior units away from the corners are approximately 1,200 square feet, with the corner units being approximately 1,500 square feet. So these are 2-bedroom units. There are balconies on them. The floor-to-floor levels consist of, from the parking level to the second floor is approximately 12 feet, and then from the second level to the third and to the fourth and up to the roof, it is 11 feet. So our roof level is at 45 feet. We do have some parapets where we have these box outs, which bump out from the building to give the building a little bit more character and depth to the facade. So those parapets extend up approximately 2 additional feet. So, Mr. Chairman, if you could flip back to that rendering for us, please. So as you can see from this rendering, the building is mostly comprised of a horizontal fiber cementitious material from the lower level up to the 3rd level. And from the 3rd level, we switched to more of a panelized fiber cementitious product to give a little bit of change and to minimize how the height of the building appears. You'll also see that there is some stone facades which wrap key points of the building at the bump outs and then at the main entrance, and as well as at the parking level. So, and all of the corner trim material you'll see will also be a fiber cementitious product, all materials which are recyclable, as well as materials which will create the decks and the railing systems on those components. We do have a flat roof on this building, so we will be capturing all of the stormwater from this system and handling it from an interior standpoint as opposed to any runoff. And we do have black and white renderings of all of the elevations, but this rendering does depict how all of the sides and the back will all mirror this particular image. So I'm more than happy to answer any questions about the overall design of the building, the units, any of these materials as well.
All right, thank you. I guess we'll start the other way this time. Adam, you have any questions?
No questions at this time.
All right, Joe, any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
John?
Oh, I'm all set for now.
All right, Mark?
No questions.
All right, Charles?
No questions at the moment.
And Jim?
No, I'm all set for the moment as well.
Okay, I am also all set for the moment. So, Tom, does your team have anything else to present at the moment?
No, that's pretty much the gist of what we had this evening, Mr. Chair. We just wanted to give everybody an idea as to what the plan is to put up there. We obviously understand there's going to be some more in-depth review and more in-depth discussion as we go forward. And a lot of that is predicated on us getting you the information that you need, which we obviously will do as soon as possible. So in terms of when we all get together again, I obviously would suggest that we build in some review time from both the town's perspective and the peer review engineer's perspective. And that's, like I said, I know that's going to be triggered somewhat by some additional information they need from us.
Okay. Let's go around the board again. If there's any, I guess I'll leave this on the screen for now, but if there's any general questions from the board, about anything on this project besides the engineering, the architecture that we just looked at, just to make sure we get it in front of the applicant. Jim, do you have anything at the moment?
I do not. I'm assuming we're going to continue our discussion about the access through Richardson, so.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you missed that part of it. We're still waiting on some more documentation from them. So that is something we will discuss in more detail further down the road.
Oh, okay. I did miss that, sorry.
Okay. All right, Charles, anything right now?
Not really. I mean, obviously, I'm looking for more detail, and hopefully we have that sooner than later. But I do have a question, just in general. Are we going to hear from, different boards before we get to make a decision, like the conservation board or planning board, or even like the fire department or anything like that? Are they going to be able to comment before we?
Yeah, they're going to be able to comment. I think a lot of the boards are waiting on, the stormwater, especially like the conservation, board of health, planning board, before they make their comments. And so I think once we get that out there, we'll really be requesting comments from all of the departments, and so we'll
Okay.
get them all at once.
All right, sounds good. Other than that, I don't have anything right now.
All right. Mark, any questions or comments right now?
I know, Tom, you indicated that the last time you were initiating a traffic study, and where do we stand on that?
Through the chair, we did talk about a traffic study. My client has not hired a traffic engineer or traffic consultant yet. In his site assessment that was part of the application, there was a traffic assessment done using standard metrics. Hiring a traffic engineer who will likely use the same or similar metrics. My clients thought it might be more prudent to see what the peer review has to say about that. And the peer review prospectus, they're going to include a general parking review in case there are specific areas of concern or question that the peer review team has. Then we can make sure that we get a traffic study or a traffic consultant on hand that can address those. So I guess we still will do that if the board requires and need be, but we just thought it might be better to hear from the peer review engineer first to see exactly what areas that they might need additional information on.
All right, thank you. Thank you, sir.
All right, John, any
Yeah, no,
questions?
I'm all set.
Okay. Joe?
No, I do not have any questions.
All right. Adam?
Not at this time, thank you.
Okay. I have a couple of things. Nothing that's really going to get answered today. Just I want to put them out there. For this project, it's a modified 40B, a LIP, I think it's called. So there's a list of waivers that the applicant is requesting, which was submitted, but I'd like to ask that be done in a little bit more detail. My thought is, and I'd like to see what the rest of the board thinks about it, is that if there's a request for a waiver from something such as the height or the setback or anything to do with the zoning or other parts of the regulations in town, I'd like to know how they're not meeting that requirement, not just that they're not meeting it. So, if the height requirement is, I'm just using an example, say it's 30 feet, and they're going to be 40 feet. I'd like to know that. Would that be, Tom, would that be possible to put something like that together so we know, have more detail about what the specific requests for waivers are?
I can certainly do that, Mike, with the waivers that we know that we need as of this point. It was kind of an open question because going forward, as the various boards weigh in on things, they might identify areas that could require additional waivers. But the type of things that you're asking about, I can certainly go through the waivers that we listed on the application and give you that information that you're looking for, the more detail on how they aren't meeting whatever the waiver requirement is. So happy to do that. But like I said, I just do reserve the right and the ability to augment the waiver requests depending on how things evolve as we go forward with discussions.
Yeah, I think that that's fine. Kristen Kasner, the planning director, commented. I saw it quickly. I think her comment was just to make sure that included all regulations throughout the town, not just zoning. But I understand that will be a document that is being revised as we go, but just so that we have a final document when it's done that has specifics.
Sure, I can do that.
Okay. The other thing is, I think it's correct that it's a little ahead of the game before we get the easement questions resolved, but the modification of the existing comprehensive permit for I'll call it the first condo project at the end of Richardson Road. Just putting some thought into that for our next meeting, or maybe the subsequent meeting after that, as to what the time frame for that filing for that will be. I don't, assuming all the easements are satisfactory and we move forward, then I don't see how we can move forward with this without concurrently moving forward with the application to modify that. So, if the applicant could put some thought into, the time frame for that and how that will go. Not all the answers will be there right now. I understand that, but just put some thought into that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I anticipate that'll be filed within the week. And my anticipation also is it will run concurrently with this, and one can't happen without the other, but they can happen concurrently, I assume, as long as they're both ultimately voted on by the board. But I would expect that application for modification will be filed within a week or so.
Okay. And I just had one other question for now. If this is approved and it's all said and done, will this project be a separate association from the original project, or is this another phase to that project?
This will be a separate association with a separate project. This one has the age restrictions and things of that nature. It's just the different ownership from a development standpoint. It'll be two separate projects.
Okay, thank you. All right, this is a public hearing. I know there's probably a lot of people on board for this, online for this. Again, if we can try to take them one at a time, everyone will get a chance to speak. I'd like everyone to keep in mind that there is still a lot of information that we don't have yet. So, some of the details for this project haven't been discussed yet because we don't have them to review yet. So I'd like to put it out to the public. If anyone would like to speak on this, please state your name and your address. And
it's Oleg Mikulski, 38 Mountain Road. Does the board have a duty to act in the interests of town and citizens of the town?
we do have the, I guess I don't 100% understand your question.
Again, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with this process. Do you have a duty to act in the interests of the town? This is a commercial project. And as we have seen last time, it harms the interests of the citizens who live here. Do you have a duty to protect these interests and to act in the interests of the town?
this board would be acting in the interest of the town.
Okay, so like, who can explain how does this project benefit the town? Because last time it was discussed that there is no preference for people to obtain living in this project. How does this project benefit the town? Is there any benefit at all for the town in this project?
Well, the benefit for the town that's been provided by the applicant, and it would be to the board to say if they agree with it or not, would be the increase in housing, which is, you know, an issue throughout the state. And it would, and there are methods that different preferences can be given, as was done on the original project that's adjacent to this.
Well, that doesn't sound like a benefit. It's an explanation, and the town is above the threshold for where it needs to increase the. Like how does increase of living space benefit the town? Do we get more taxes, or do we get what? Increase of living space deteriorates the town because there is more traffic, there is more congestion.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, and I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, but I'm just one opinion. And
I would like to request a formal analysis of the benefits of this project for the town.
we can discuss that. I don't know what form that would be, but it's something that can be discussed.
Okay, thank you. Would you be able to follow up on this by next meeting?
Yes, it will be something that we will follow up on.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Hello, this
Matthew,
is Anthony.
Matthew Gaines from the law firm of Marcus Arico, Emmer and Brooks, the attorney for the existing Windview Heights condominium. I spoke at the last meeting, as you may recall, mostly about this easement over the existing condominium. Regarding Attorney McCarthy's letter, you know, in my opinion, I didn't think it provided much of a legal argument in support of the developer's easement rights, but was rather really Attorney McCarthy's recollection of the intent of the easement when it was granted 17 years ago. I would have thought we might see a little bit more meat in that letter than perhaps we received. And as I say at the last meeting, excuse me, it's my belief that the easement, this 2003 easement, was intended to become effective in the event the land at 35 Mountain Road was added to the condominium. There's clear wording in the easement to that effect, including the reference to the comprehensive permit that was issued for the development of the existing condominium. But as you asked, and you got the answer, that's not what happened. It's happening here. The proposed development's not going to be part of the existing condominium, but it's rather going to be its own association. Thus, in my opinion, the 2003 easement is not valid since the condition stated in that 2003 easement has not been met. I just want to make two other points, and that assuming for the moment that the 2003 easement is valid, and again, a point, in case you haven't figured out, I strongly disagree with, the developer has two other problems here. The first we've kind of talked about a little bit, and that's the last 95 feet of Richardson Road. The existing condominium does have easement rights over that. I did some research at the registry myself, and I admit maybe I missed it, but I've been unable to find any document which grants easement rights to the owner of 35 Mountain Road over that last 95 feet. Sounds like we might get some more information on that, so I won't really need to discuss that too much more, but I'll be curious to see what comes back on that, because it sure doesn't appear there's any rights over that last 95 feet. The second problem is the fact, and this is a bigger problem in my opinion, is the fact that the 2003 easement does not mention any rights for utilities. The 2003 utilities over the existing condominium. The 2003 easement states that is for the right to pass by vehicular traffic or otherwise. There's no mention of any rights for utilities. I believe, and as we heard tonight, it's the developer's intent to bring some of those utilities through the condominium. But again, In my opinion, that is not permitted by the easement. They have a right for vehicular traffic and otherwise meaning by foot, by bike. There's no mention of the word utilities in there. So it's a very limited easement. You know, and again, even if this easement is valid, and even if the utilities are valid, taking everything they say is true, which I strongly disagree with, there's still the big issue that a lot of the residents raised at the last meeting, and some of the board members frankly raised, just the concern about traffic. I mean, that road going through Windview Heights is narrow. There are a lot of children in that place, that in the condominium, that play out there. It is not safe to have, you know, such an increased amount of traffic going through there. And in my opinion, there's a pretty simple solution to the problem, all of the problems I mentioned. The easement problem, the children playing and all the dangers that come with that, the utility, is that everything can be brought through the remaining land of the current owners of 35 Mountain Road, which is not part of this project. We know that they're sort of doing an A&R and lopping off a big chunk. Everything can be brought up that way. I suspect that they're not doing that because the owner of 35 Mountain Road, who's going to keep her single family house there, is not thrilled with the concept for the same reason that my client's not thrilled with it. They don't want the traffic coming through their property. However, there's a big difference between the owner of 35 Mountain Road and my client. Unlike the owner of 35 Mountain Road, my clients aren't making $1.42 million on this deal. So to recap, on one hand, you have my clients, condominium association, who's making no money on this deal and is going to bear all of the burdens, assuming all these easements are valid. And on the other hand, you have the current owners of 35 Mountain Road who are going to make $1.42 million, but are going to be able to live in peace and tranquility since the traffic will be elsewhere. It just doesn't seem really fair and equitable to me. So that's all I have to say. I look forward to hearing or reading some more of the opinions, particularly about the easement over Richardson Road. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Just for 1 second, just to circle back to the questions on the easement, Tom, I just want to make sure you got all the points that were raised and to make sure that all of those are addressed going forward.
I took some notes, Mr. Chairman, and we'll address them.
All right, thank you. All right, is there anyone else that would like to speak on this matter?
Yes,
Yes,
Diane
Anthony.
Downs, 12 Richardson Road. I own part of the easement that's in question for Richardson Road. My husband and I would like to put it on the official record that we believe that the Windview to Heights easement would cause an overburden of the existing easement that was initiated with Windview Heights 1.
Okay.
That
Thank
there's
you.
going to be 89 more cars per day going over that easement.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on this matter?
Yeah, this is Anthony Citroni, 24 Richardson Road. I just want to comment, our lawyer was great. He hit a lot of important facts. He did a good job. My question is, actually I have to go to work. So is there going to be a final vote tonight, or what? As I'm listening, there's going to be another meeting. Is that correct?
Yes, there will be another meeting, probably multiple continuances. There won't be a final vote today.
Oh, perfect. Okay. That's all I had to say. I figured I'd just ask that and let all the other people talk. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on this matter?
It's Martin Collins, 25 Richardson Road. Hello?
Yes, please.
Yes, Martin. Yes, 25 Richardson Road. Yeah, that traffic burden. You take a look at this place right now, 3 months of winter. It's down to one lane with the snow and the trash out on Thursdays. And everyone in this unit, this area, condominium, it respects and knows everyone else that lives around here. We creep out of our driveways to just make sure that everything's safe. It's going to be a freeway with 89 cars a day from another whole unit just flying through here. We have enough trouble with all the different service trucks and so forth. That traffic issue is going to be a mess, let alone down the bottom of the street, let alone down the bottom onto Wynn Street and all those stores and all the traffic. It's probably the biggest problem. It's down to one lane, and it's an abuse. You come up from 35, like it was mentioned by Matt there, and you're going by one house, one residency. here, you're going by the 15 here and then the whole rest of our street with all this traffic. It just doesn't seem at all fair. And it does not seem like it's going to do the town any good to put in this kind of a development. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on this matter? Okay, as I mentioned, this will be continued. There will be other opportunities to speak in the future when more details come out as well. So back to the board, we have in front of us tonight for this, as I mentioned, the town received a proposal from Hancock Associates for the peer review, and the applicant has agreed to that. That's been reviewed by council and the planning department. There is a mention of them doing a general review of the traffic, which the applicant has mentioned at this meeting as well, that they'd like to see what the results of that are, and then, you know, if we need to move forward with a further traffic study, we can still reserve the right to do that. I didn't want to act unilaterally for the board on this, so I'd like to just put it out to the board if there's any questions. If not, to get a motion to approve the proposal from Hancock Associations to do the peer review, and that way that can start as soon as we have all the documentation.
I'll make a motion to approve the Hancock peer review.
Second.
Okay, the motion is made and seconded. We'll do a roll call. I'll start with Jim.
Aye.
Charles.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
John. Sorry, John. Have we lost John? I actually don't see him online anymore. All right. All right. I guess we'll go. I'm not sure who's up for the alternates. We'll go with Joe. I think it's Joe.
Aye.
All right, and I vote aye. That's a 5-0. So we'll get that going. I think that's it, unless the board has any other comments for this meeting.
I know. Just when are we continuing it to? The next meeting or the meeting after?
No, I would suggest that it would be the meeting after. I mean, even if we got all the documentation today, at least the town departments are going to need about 30 days to comment. So that puts us at about the 30-day mark. So I would suggest that we move on. I believe it's the March 16th meeting, if no one has an objection to that.
Nope.
That's fine with the applicant, Mr. Chair.
All right, I'll make a motion to continue Windview Heights 2 to March 16th.
Second.
At 7:30?
At 7:30, sorry.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded to continue to our meeting of March 16th at 7:30. Roll call. Jim?
Aye.
Charles?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
And I vote aye. All
I'm
right.
here.
Oh, sorry, John, you're back in. We lost you before.
Yeah, I only lost a minute of it, but I got back on the.
Okay, sorry.
Yep, no, it's all right.
All right, John.
Yeah, aye.
Okay, and myself, aye. All right, so this is continued to March 16th, and hopefully we'll be able to move forward a little bit on this for the next meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, members of the board.
Thank you.
How do I shut this down?
Okay, the next item on our agenda is a continued hearing for 3 Forbes Ave. Is the applicant online?
Hello, this is Dattu Prajapati. Sunil is here with me. He's not feeling well. Is it okay if I represent for him?
Yes, if you'd like to represent him.
Okay, and we have collected some additional information which were the question for the last meeting. Is it okay if I share my document here?
Yes, Joe Ellen, I'm not sure if you need to allow him to share.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, board meeting member and town citizens, we appreciate for giving us an opportunity to represent our case. Uh, uh, Regarding this particular building, we started construction in 2017, and as per that application, the approved plan, we had an in-laws existing unit used as an in-laws apartment, and we were building a new main unit. We have been living in Burlington since '94, and the existing unit, it is about like 900 square foot on the first floor and 900 square foot on the basement. Basement is unheated as per town record. It's considered as a C average. And our main concern was that to install a door between in-laws apartment and main unit, but we have learned later on that we cannot have a door between in-laws apartment and the main unit. Originally, when we started the construction, there was a door, but now we have been asked to remove that door, and then we learned that we are also in central business district, which allows us to convert into a two-family, but we might have to run into some exception for that. Also, it allows single family structure with accessory apartment and single family structure with in-laws apartment. The difference between accessory and in-laws is that there is no separation, and accessory apartment makes it a lot more secure for the occupant. It adds extra fire safety. It isolates our heating zone. Right now we have two separate heating. One is propane based and one is oil based in the existing unit. And it isolates my parents who are senior citizens for with the current pandemic, the quarantine time. So basically we are requesting to install a door, and we can make it even enhance the safety of the occupants, health during the pandemic, and efficiency of the HVAC by complying with a building code for accessory apartment. And this unit is a 110 foot of area from one end to other end, which makes it very hard to warm up entire unit. If it was like I have a house on Tinkham Avenue where I have a basement which is furnished basement, walkout basement, but I have a door over there, so I can separate my HVAC zone. Here we have an in-laws unit which is on the same level. We cannot separate it out, and we cannot heat one side of the area without warming up the entire unit. And my parents, they are senior citizens, so they like to keep their temperature high compared to rest of us. So this is one where we took from the Burlington bylaws that what makes it accessory apartment. and be 100% fully compliant with the general objectives of increase the number of small dwellings, increase the range of choice, encourage the greater diversity of population, as we are immigrants from India and my parents are senior citizens, and we are anticipating to have multi-generation living in the house. So we will have young adults, college students, and and senior citizens. So we'll comply with that objective. It will create the economic and energy efficiency of the usage, and it will increase town's housing supply, and it has only one main entrance, so it will maintain the appearance of a single family neighborhood. We are in compliance with all of these general laws, and I can go into the detail. This house was built in 2017. We started building, and as per this law, before 1989, I will go into the detail of this why we are seeking variance here. But all other laws, we are in compliance. There is no outside stairways or basically all the building bylaws. You are a lot more familiar with the board meeting member. And regarding off-street parking, we have driveway. Our cars are parked all the way near the building, compared to Forbes Avenue, where you can see that other house has a parking on the roadside, but we do not park on the roadside. We have enough parking for the both units, so none of these are a concern. When we reach out to the building department, they have clarified that in 2017 the permit was issued to construct the main dwelling and use or convert the existing dwelling to an in-laws area. Now, to put a door, we are requesting to convert it into an accessory apartment. Town has building department has 3 concerns. I can go into this detail of Article 11, 12.2.2, 2.2 B2, and 2.2.2 A5. And yeah, so these are the 3 concerns here. So I can go into this detail here. The one is that the approved in-laws unit is 928 square foot roughly, and the basement is C average. As per town record, it was 1,856 square foot in 1989, and it will be way below 30%, but we are requesting the variance in this particular issue from board member to grant us relief from 1989 net floor area. There is another requirement that there shall not be no enlargement. We constructed this house. We received the permit in 2017, and we reduced the scope. Like in attic we had extra extra space for kids to have a play area. But after looking at the house, we realized we don't really need that much space. So we even reduced the construction what was originally approved, particularly in the attic area. And attic is not finished right now, but we are not doing any construction. We have been paying taxes for more than 1 year, and we are not planning to enlarge any of this unit. So as long as if this one if we receive a variance of 1989, and you approve this construction, then this is already covered and this was constructed in 2017 permit, and the original structure was built in 2017 and early 2018. After that, we have not added any extra square foot. We have finished the construction of the house. And the third objection building department has raised was that regarding number of bedrooms, there shall not be more than 2 bedrooms. When we purchased this house, this third room, that was always a hallway. There was a sunroom here with a door here. And we were hoping that we can retain the door, but later on we learned we cannot have the door here. But this was never been used as a bedroom. There is no door in this room. It's been used as a study room or hallway passage. We are, this was an approved in-laws unit, and this is the stair going down in the basement area. And there are, in 1961, it was constructed. At that time, it was like 900 square foot with a 3-bedroom. But right now, I'm living here. I had a fire. I live in Tinkham Avenue. This is my brother's house. But I'm living here where I have 1,300 square foot at Simons Park apartment. I can see my brother's house from the window. And this is 1,300 square foot with a 2-bedroom, and 900 square foot with a 3-bedroom is not a practical use. It will never be converted into a 3-bedroom. So this is how it is. We can comply with whatever the requirement is. This is not a bedroom. It will be always like there will be door connecting to this main unit. There is no door here. I don't know what defines it as a bedroom, but it will be a study room, or it won't be a. We'll never be using it as a bedroom here. And I think that's all I have right now. So if you have any question, we are willing to answer it. My parents are here on the call. They are currently living in Lexington, and my brother is Sunil is also available. He is also on the call, and my sister, she also visits us very frequently, and we spend a lot of time together. I'm raising 3 kids in Burlington, and we spend good time with my parents, as well as with my brother takes my kids out for hiking trips, and he was a pilot. He took them out to at the airport to see the plane from inside, and we have spent a lot of family vacations together. When I moved here in 1997, I stayed with my brother at Beacon Village in apartment. It's our Indian family things that family is very close, and we spend good quality time with each other. So if you have any question, I can answer those.
Okay, thank you. I think we'll take comments from the board. I just want to make a comment. This application is, in my opinion, and if someone on the board disagrees with me, is a request for us to overturn the building department's decision that by adding the door, it would change the use from an in-law to an accessory apartment. There's nothing in the application or in the legal notice about specific requests for variances to the requirements for the accessory apartment. So with that being said, there, as I mentioned to the applicant before, there are other alternatives to move forward with this. I outlined them to them. It seems to me like they're moving forward with this request. So unless someone else on the board thinks that I'm misinterpreting the request, I would suggest that we move forward with this request. And they can move forward with any other alternatives that they might need to, or if we approve, they can move forward in that manner. So we'll go around the board. Jim, we'll start with you. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't at this point, no.
Okay. Charles?
Yeah, I got a couple of things. First of all, I don't, looking at what was advertised, I mean, it seems like it should have been advertised as, needing, relief from the 30% requirement. It looks like, I agree with you that, that they're just looking for an appeal on a change of description or something to that effect. I guess I'm a little confused on that part of it. But either way, I think that I tend to agree with the building inspector's decision is now, and I think that the intent of the bylaw in 1989 when they changed it was to reduce the size of any further accessory apartments. I tend to agree with that as well. I don't think, for myself, I would probably be in favor of either, approving either of these options. Right.
Hello. Can I answer it? This is a variance application. That's what we understood, that when they raised these three, building department, they raised these three questions. We thought that this is a request for a variance, and variance we are seeking only on the 1 point, not on all 3 points. Other two, we believe we are in compliance. I can't hear.
I'm sorry, I was muted. So your application and the way that this was advertised, if an applicant is seeking a variance, they need to be very specific as to which part of the bylaw they are seeking the variance from. And the way that this was advertised, it doesn't mention any section of the bylaw. It just says that it was denied because of sections of the bylaw. So in my opinion, what you're asking for is for us to overturn the building inspector's decision.
Well, we are seeking your help. How can we move forward based on our need, and how can we achieve it? And right now, based on what I understood, that that the best way to move forward is by asking a variance on 1989 construction law, and remaining part is we are in compliance. So we are seeking your guidance. Just one more thing, that even if we do a 2-family structure, because of we are in CBD zone, we will also have to seek variance on that case, and it will be a lot more work, a lot more expensive on our part, and we are not intended to use it as a 2-family. That is not our need. So this is the best approach, where if we can get a variance on this one part, we can, that's what I'm thinking. Sorry.
Okay, I'm not sure if you saw the the email, the correspondence that I sent to your brother about laying out the different options for you with this. And one of those was, you know, to move forward with this application, which in my opinion is a request for us to overturn the building inspector's decision. There was also another option that would be to request a variance, which I do not believe that this application does. There are other alternatives to go to the planning board and seek a two-family. There, you know, there might be issues that need to be resolved there as well. But we need to move forward one way or the other with the application that's in front of us. And you're saying that you're asking for a variance from the date, but nowhere from the date of 1989, but nowhere in the public, in the advertisement does it say that you're asking for a request for that. And if you were asking for a request from that, it would need the request would need to be specific to say that the date you're asking to change the date from January 1st, 1989 to a new specific date. And it doesn't do that.
So here in this article, this is the newspaper article where they mentioned the section code, not exact text of the section code.
Yes, that mentions that the denial is because of that section of the bylaw. It does not specifically say that you're asking for relief from that section of the bylaw or in what manner you are asking for relief.
So we comply with all the town's general objectives and you know what town is promoting the accessory apartment. So how do we move forward? Like, is it something we have to seek only variance on a one topic? Are you convinced with other two points?
The general, I understand what you're saying about the general idea behind the accessory apartments, but we have to abide by the specific rules. And if you're saying that the only one, off the top of my head, I don't know if that's accurate. If you're saying that the only part of the bylaw that you don't comply with is the date or the 30% because of that date, then you would need to specifically write that out and say, we are requesting, you know, not word for word, but we are requesting relief from this section of the bylaw in this way, in a certain way. As I mentioned in my correspondence to your brother, this is a difficult thing to navigate. I would suggest that retaining a lawyer, counsel on this would help you navigate this. But let's hear from the rest of the board and see what they have to say.
Okay.
All right. So, Charles, were you all set?
Yep, I'm good.
All right. Mark?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I agree with your interpretation of the application. As I look at it, it's an appeal about a redesignation of an in-law as an accessory apartment. I do not see the word variance mentioned in this application. That's all I have.
Okay. John?
I believe I'm sitting this one out. I believe the alternate has replaced me in this one.
Okay. I think you can still comment, and maybe I'm wrong about that.
Okay, then as far as comments, I'm in agreement with the chairman.
Okay. All right, Joe?
I'm also in agreement with the chairman. I have no questions.
Okay. Adam?
I agree with the chairman as well.
Okay. So let me just lay this out for you again, just in brief. The board is in agreement that this application is for an appeal of the building inspector's decision. If we were to vote this down, that does not mean that you could not file for a variance. As I said, it would need to be specific, asking for relief from certain sections of the bylaw. That is one approach that you could still take. You could also take the approach of going to the planning board and seeking approval as a two-family, which is a by right use, so it's allowed. You know, you would need to meet certain requirements there as well, but it wouldn't be a variance. It wouldn't be something that would be against the bylaw. So either that or the door can be removed and you could continue to have this designated as an in-law apartment. So those are the alternatives. It sounds like the board is in agreement. So we'll probably be moving forward with this one way or the other. This is a public hearing though, so I would like to see if there's anyone in the public that would like to comment on this.
So can I mention one thing that we presented that, we wanted to retain the door, and we said that, we want to make an accessory apartment, and building department has objected these 3 points. And then advertise was posted by the town. We didn't, created any advertisement. We are presenting that, whether we comply with the law or we need a variance on those 3 objectives. So we never mentioned that we are trying to overturn the building department's, letter. We are trying to work with the town to understand as a, I'm not in a building department, but we are trying to work with the town to meet the town objective, and basically retaining a door between 2 units makes it lot more safer for my parents, as it creates it's these are not the requirement. None of these are requirement for the in-laws apartment. This bylaws only it applies to the accessory apartment, which makes occupants safety. It increases their safety. Particularly now, there is a pandemic where they can be isolated, my parents. So all we are requesting is to let us separate the unit, and we can comply with accessories bylaw, which are like it adds 1 hour of fire barrier. It isolates the HVAC zone. So we don't know why it's not a variance application.
Okay. As I mentioned before, a variance application needs to specifically request relief, and you didn't do that in your application.
We didn't even receive this letter from the building department when we filed the application for that. This letter came later on, from the town. And the original email which we received from building department, it didn't mention about 1989 constraint.
That's the letter from the building department, not your application.
Yes, but before that we received an email from building department, and that was
basically the same letter.
No, it didn't have this particular point, 1989 things. But we want to work with the town here to move forward here.
Okay.
And how do we need to seek variance for only all 3 items, or are you convinced with like if 1989 rule is there, then this is already covered? That's my interpretation is, because this was constructed in 2017, 2018, and this is a 2-bedroom. So do we need to seek variance for all 3 points or only 1 point?
That's something that we need to work out outside of a meeting. It's really the applicant's responsibility to file their request. We're willing to work with you, and I did lay that out, what your options were. And I think you've heard from a couple of board members that they might not even be willing to grant a variance for the change in the date. we really probably shouldn't discuss that too much because I don't believe that's what's been put in front of us. But before we move on to that, I'd like to put this out to the public to see if anyone in the public has comments on this application. Okay, I'm not hearing any. Does anyone on the board have any thoughts on moving forward with this in one way or the other? And to give the applicant some direction.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion to deny this appeal as stated. I believe it's an appeal of the building inspector's decision. It was captioned as an appeal of the redesignation of an in-law as an accessory apartment.
Okay, do we have a second, or does anyone else have any thoughts, any more thoughts?
I have a question that instead of you deny my application, is it something we can work with you and, we can work with you for the variance part of the same application?
It would need to be a new application.
Okay.
Can I jump in for a second, Mr. Chairman? I think it might be more prudent to make a motion to withdraw so that we don't run into an issue where we have to vote later on whether or not the application is significantly different or not. It might be a better way to handle this, but I'll leave it up to you. Either way, I think we have to. I think we have to close the public hearing before we make a motion.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I'm not actually sure. Does that request need to come from the applicant, or can we just move in that direction?
I think we can move in that direction. Can we work with you on for the variance rather than denying it right now, where we limit our options here.
Yeah, we can do that. We can work with you, but you must understand that the responsibility of filing the application correctly is on you. It is not on us. So
Okay,
as I said,
understand that.
an attorney could help you with that.
But
hi. This is Sunil. I wasn't feeling well today. My throat is sore. Hopefully, it's not coronavirus or something. But if I can just say that the advertisement that was given out was given to us by the town. I mean, and thank you, Joanne, for helping us. It went back and forth quite a few times between the building department. First, they gave us like an information that says our unit is approved for apartment, but I mean the email that sent us that says it's approved for an apartment, but it needs these 3 points to be addressed, and that is how the communication came. Then after like some back and forth, they said no, it is not approved for apartment, and then we need to address this. And I have this email. If you like, I can forward you that email that we received from town. So that created a confusion, and then the advertisement that was given was as we received, because our goal is, our goal here is like simply move on. There is just one internal door we want to install and close this matter. It's nothing more than that. So do you, if you want us to re-advertise or something, we can do that. I mean, do we approve those kind of date movements? I mean, do we approve accessory apartments in town by moving the date? I believe we have done it in the past. Will we be able to get that kind of approval? I mean, those are the things here, right?
That has been done in the past, but just because it's been done in the past does not mean that it will be done again.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like you are requesting to withdraw this application.
can we re-advertise so you can approve as a variance? I mean, variance is reapprove.
If you would like to move forward with requesting a variance to specific parts of the bylaw that are non-compliant, then you can proceed in that manner, yes. If you withdraw.
I mean, so we withdraw, we re-advertise, so it meets your criteria for the advertisement, right? Right now, it looks like it's the advertisement was incorrect, right? If the advertisement was variance, then you can vote on the variance part, right? It's and there are 3 points, but the point which is really the most important is the 1989. Once you move that date to say 2019, right? The other points don't play any role. The other 2 points why it is denied, those don't play any role. So the only variance we will need really is moving the date to 2019 when construction is done and no more, no other changes are happening now. The square footage and everything is already added, and now we are just designating this as an apartment instead of an in-law, and only so we can just install a door there, right? The only purpose here is to install a door.
What does the rest of the board think about them just re-advertising? I don't even know. Joe Ellen, I don't know if you
Mr.
wait. I
Chairman?
don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
It's John. Can I make a comment?
Yes, go ahead.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think the applicant understands the process. And the way I see it is the only choice you have is either the applicant withdraws without prejudice or you vote the project down and he just starts over from scratch. He needs to get himself an attorney and let the attorney explain him. No matter how many times you tell him how the process is, he keeps trying to argue the variance. He just doesn't understand the process yet.
Right. No, I
No,
agree
I
with
got
that.
the process, sir. So I understand.
Excuse me. One of the board members and I were discussing the matter. I will give you another chance to speak. The public hearing is still open. You can't just comment on everything that somebody says. John, are you all set?
Yeah. I just wanted to make the point that it's my experience that the only options you have now are to allow him withdraw without prejudice or vote on it one way or the other.
Right. I would agree with that. Okay. I think we've talked through this. We can still, try to work something out with you, but we need to make a decision to move forward with this. So I would like, I'll go back to the applicant one more time. If you'd like to comment before we close the public hearing.
Yeah, no. So I appreciate that. Sorry about that interruption. So we would like to withdraw it, right? I mean, if that's what we want to do with this application, but that doesn't solve the matter. So and so I understand, John, Jim, I forgot who was saying that we don't understand things. And that may be true because we don't have money to hire a lawyer also. We just have to resolve this ourselves. We don't even have money to remove the door right now. We are just totally depleted in building this house and we are trying to minimize the cost. It's end of the day, it's just one door that we have to remove and then again, apply and then reinstall or, all those things, right? The whole process is that if you move forward the date, right? If you move forward the date and that is acceptable to everyone, right? Then this becomes an apartment instead of an in-law. Everything else remains the same, right? Other points becomes already moved and all we need is approve as an apartment. Then we put a door and we are done, right? And we are trying to minimize the cost. We have just run out of the money here. So we understand the process that the advertisement, if the wording was right in the advertisement, we could have taken it on the route of the variance instead of a denial. There are two possible ways. We understood those part, and if the advertisement was not done the right, that's because we just got those wording from based on our back and forth, and I can share all the email communication that has happened. And Mike, I appreciate you are saying that we can work together on this. That is what we want to accomplish here.
Okay, thank you. I'll take a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion to close it. Second.
All right, motion is made and seconded to close the public hearing. We'll do a roll call. Charles?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Adam?
Aye.
And myself, I vote aye. Sorry, I didn't. John, I know you hadn't watched it. Jim, I assumed you hadn't watched the last meeting either. I know you'd missed it. So
No, I didn't.
okay, all right. So, it's my opinion that this needs to be refiled, specifically requesting relief from any part of the bylaw. And I want to mention to the applicant, the public hearing is closed, but if you are to file for a variance, you need to prove a hardship, and there's no guarantees that you're going to get it. So, with that being said, I'll take. They specifically requested to withdraw without prejudice, so we can either take a motion for that, or we can take a motion for approval or denial of the application.
I'll make a motion to withdraw 3 Forbes Ave.
Second.
Order,
Motion-
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
I'm not sure. It's my opinion that the applicant needs to ask to withdraw. You can't just go, I just don't think you can unilaterally do that. He's here asking for the variance request. So really, your only choice is to deny it, but if he turns around and says he wants to withdraw without prejudice, then you can take it up, I believe is the proper way.
Oh,
I'm wrong, but I believe.
Oh no, sorry, I thought he said that. I thought.
Yeah, I thought so as well.
I'll put it back to the applicant.
I didn't hear him, but if he did, then you're fine. Then you're fine.
I'll put it back to the applicant. Have you requested to withdraw?
Yes, we are requesting to withdraw.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, we had a motion and a second, I believe, on the withdraw without prejudice. So we'll do a roll call. Charles?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Adam?
Aye.
And I vote aye. All right, the motion, the hearing has been withdrawn without prejudice. The application has been withdrawn without prejudice. To the applicant, if we can still have some communication working with the town to move you forward in a direction, but as I mentioned before, it is up to you to determine, the details that need to be filed and which direction you want to go, which you have multiple choices for. So if you'd like to reach out to the building department or myself, I believe you have your email, we can have some more communication, but the bulk of this is on you, not on the town.
Understood, Mike. Thank you. I'll reach out to you separately. Thank you for your.
Thank you. Okay, the next item on our agenda is a new hearing for One Wayside Road for new signage for Nuance as advertised. Is the applicant online?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening.
If you could please introduce yourself and give us an overview of your proposal.
Yes, my name is Lindsay Bennett. On behalf of Nuance Communications, I am requesting to replace an existing exterior building sign on One Wayside that does face One Wayside, to replace it in kind. So the size, the dimensions of the sign, the timer that it's on, and the location of it will all remain the same.
Okay, thank you. Do we have, we'll go around from the board. Jim?
So I'm sorry, I may have missed this. So what's changing?
Do you want me, could I share? I can show you.
Yeah, Joellen, can you allow her to share?
Can you see my screen?
It's coming up now. Yep.
So, this would be the new sign, again, same dimensions. This is the existing sign. This is them overlaid on each other. This is the existing sign, a photograph on the building. So we are changing it from white to black. And at night it would have a glow. We did the lumen count information. It is at 60% diffusion. So the lumen count per lineal foot without the diffusion would be 140, and it goes down, I think, to, let me just see here. It goes down to 66 lumens per foot.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Charles.
I have no questions. Looks good to me.
All right, Mark.
No questions.
John.
No, I'm good.
All right, Joe.
No questions.
Adam.
No questions.
All right, I also have no questions. This is a public hearing, so I will put this out to the public if there's anyone that would like to speak on this matter.
Mike, I do have 2 sign applications, so do we do one first and then the other one?
I believe they were advertised together.
Together? Okay.
I believe.
So can
Someone can
speak?
correct me if I'm wrong.
Sign A and sign B.
Okay.
Yes, so I applied for them separately, but I think they were advertised together.
Yes.
Okay, so if no one has any questions on the existing sign, can I discuss the additional sign?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So the second sign we applied for would be a duplicate of the sign that we just discussed, but this would be facing the Nuance parking lot. It also flanks our entrance. Currently, the Nuance office has 2 locations where you can enter, which does get a little confusing. We have a number of visitors. We are, planning to stay in this location and reopen at a time when it's safe. And we did just, as you can see from this photo, we did a construction project to renovate our customer experience center. So we are someday hoping to have or planning to have a lot more traffic back into our office. And we think that, really being able to call out which door is the entrance, similarly to our neighbor at Microsoft, who also has a significant sign at their entrance that was approved. We would like to do something similar.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Let's go back around the board then. If anyone has questions on this sign, Jim.
No, I'm all set.
Okay, Charles.
I don't have any questions, but I'm trying to find the plans for the second sign so that I can. Joellen, is it under a different? Is it under something other than 21-2?
It's 21-5.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. I'll find it. Thanks. That's all I have. Thanks.
Okay. Mark, any comments?
No questions.
John.
Yeah, just a quick recap. So are you replacing 2 signs with the exact same square footage signs? Or is it one new sign and replacing one old sign?
We are replacing one existing sign and adding one new sign. So the second thing you said.
Okay, so on the second sign, the sign where you don't already have one, is there another
Yes.
sign of that building facing the parking lot?
There is not, and like you said, facing the parking lot. So just this is our closest neighbor. They have the parking lot sign. So I think that's what we're looking for, is the parking lot sign.
Yeah, so Microsoft has a sign facing that parking lot?
They do.
Yeah. Okay. I'm all set for right now.
Okay, Joe,
No questions.
Adam,
No questions.
okay. I guess my only question, I guess I was a little confused on how this was advertised, but I didn't realize it until now. But Joellen, was this was advertised with all the signage that they're asking for, but is it under 2 applications? Is that going to affect us in any way?
It all came through as one application.
Okay. Even though it's on the site as 21.2 and 21.5?
21.5 is a completely different application for the Burlington Mall, so
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
sorry.
that's okay.
Oh, it's SP 21.5, so sign permit. 21.5.
That must
This
be the
is-
building inspectors.
Yeah, that's not ours.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's
Sorry.
all right. I just want to make sure that we have everything.
No,
you
we
know.
have, everything's, yeah, no, we're all set.
Okay. I don't have anything on this. So these two, well, I guess the only thing, so these 2 signs are exactly the same. All the details of the signs are the same, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. All right. Charles, I know you had a question. You were looking for some information. I don't know if you have anything else before we go to the public.
No, but I think I have what I need. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Again, I'll just put this out to the public. If anyone has any comments on this before we close the public hearing. Okay, hearing none. I'll take a motion from the board.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded to close the public hearing. Roll call. Jim,
Aye.
Charles, Charles.
Aye. Did you?
Okay. I didn't hear you. Sorry. Mark,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
and I vote aye. All right. Public hearing is closed. Does the board have any other comments or motions?
I'll make a motion to approve 2 signs for Nuance on one-way side as shown on plans dated September 3rd, 2020, with a condition that the signs not exceed 90 lumens per square foot.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded.
Is there something about 11 o'clock at night on the, that they're supposed to shut off and such?
Yes, they are on a timer. Our current sign is also on the same timer and it goes off accordingly.
Okay, I don't know whether you wanted to add that, Charles, to the conditions.
Yeah, it's probably not a bad idea to add that just to make sure.
Yep. Sorry, I didn't get that. What time do they shut off right now? 11?
11 p.m.
11.
And on at, sunrise or something, or when are they?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It is
Yeah.
it is outlined. And I know we have it on the timer for that time already.
It sounds like the old approval just mentioned that the sign couldn't be illuminated after 11 p.m. So as long as we
Yeah, I
continue
can
that,
do it
just
that
because
way.
we're adding a sign.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Make the condition as well that the either sign A or B cannot be illuminated after 11 p.m.
Second.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. Roll call. Jim,
Aye.
Charles,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
and I vote aye. All right, you are approved for your signage. You're all set.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, the Next item on our agenda is the minutes from our January 19th and February 2nd meeting. Do we need to take these separately, or can we vote them together?
Separately.
Okay. All right, so we'll take January 19th first. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from January 19th?
Yes, sir.
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
Okay, motion is made and seconded to accept the minutes from January 19th. Roll call, Jim,
Aye.
Charles,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
and I vote aye, 5-0. Okay, and the minutes from February 2nd.
Make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from February 2nd.
Aye.
Is that a second?
Oh, sorry, second, yeah.
All right.
Had a long night.
So Jim and John weren't here for that, so I think we'll have Joe and Adam vote on that. So roll call, John. Sorry, not John. Charles.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Joe.
Aye.
Adam.
Aye.
And I vote aye, 5-0. Unless anyone has any new business, take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We actually have 3 for the next meeting.
Second.
Three new? Okay. All right. No, go ahead.
Amy hasn't sent them out. I'll send them out.
I don't have any. Are they variances or signs?
We have 1 variance and 2 signs.
Okay.
I'll check with Amy because she's been sending them out for me.
Okay. Yeah, we can. I mean, we have a couple of weeks, so I'm sure she'll
Yeah.
get them
Yeah.
out to us. All right.
That's
All right. So the motion has been made and seconded to adjourn. Do a roll call. Jim.
Aye.
Charles.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
John.
Aye.
I vote aye. Meeting adjourned. All
Good
right. We'll see
night.
everyone in a couple of weeks. Good night.